What's up, YouTube? My name's Eric, also known as the Daddy_Reef Turtle on Instagram. You can find me there. I post lots of stories, lots of other good fish content. But here we are on our first episode. So if it's scuffed, I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'm going to try to keep this one completely equipment based and share with you my Waterbox Aquariums 100.3 that I recently just filled with water. Well, I filled it about on Christmas. I filled it December 25th. I filled it with water, and I started. I did the nitro cycle. I poured the nitro cycle in from Algae Barn, and then I started dosing it with Micro B Lift Night Out too. So I'm right on the end of my cycle now. I'm done with basically doing the bacteria. I might be still use that product for water changes and whatnot. It seems like real good stuff, and it's always good. It seems I'm getting a lot of advice, and the good beneficial bacteria seems to be a great way to make sure to maintain a healthy aquarium. So yeah, I'm using the Micro B Night Out too. We went through the cycle almost. I had 10 nitrites this morning, so I'm right on the end of it. The reason that you're seeing fish and some other corals here, like I said, I bombed another tank and saved some stuff, and recently placed those guys in here. We can go over them in a little bit, but let's try to keep this episode equipment based and not try to ramble on too much. So let's start up with here. I've got the Radion G5 XR30s Pros. Really good lights. I don't really need to speak much about them, because everybody knows what those are. They're like the Ferrari of the light world, apparently. I am thinking and considering getting a rack that mounts them with the T5 bulbs. Obviously, I don't have a lot of coral in here now, so I don't need them yet. But eventually, I think once I get the fancy acros in there, I think that's what I want to do. So the aquarium is a Waterbox 100.3 Reef series. Super low iron glass. You can see through it very clear. Sometimes I forget there's freaking water in this thing. It's so damn clear. I love this aquarium. It's beautiful. The only thing I didn't keep with it was the sump. I ended up going with the trigger sump, and we'll get into that when I get into the bottom half of this aquarium. So as far as the scape goes, I'm pretty proud of the scape. I got a lot of good comments on Instagram and stuff like that. I did the negative space thing with a small surface area on the bottom, and I used Marco flat dry rock, crushed them up into small pieces, used the super glue with the spray to get the form, and then I went in behind in places that you couldn't see and packed in the mortar there to make it very strong. This piece is like 60 pounds. I have about a good, I want to say 70 pounds of rock in there, but it doesn't look like it because it's got a small surface area, and I really like this scape because there's plenty of places for the fish to hide, little nooks and crannies, but it's also easy to find inhabitants. So with my last aquarium, I stacked so many rocks, and the classic noob mistake where you put a fish in there, like, where you haven't seen it for a couple weeks. Here at least I can even spot my emerald crab most of the time. So it's pretty cool. I really like this scape. I forget the brand of the sand off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the link in the description. I used a real fine sand. Some people complain about it when they siphon that it makes it dirty, but when I first put it in, I agitated it a lot, and it seems pretty good. So I haven't had any complaints, and I think it looks a lot better than the heavier grain stuff. guys, welcome to my sump area where I have a trigger sump. I didn't use the Waterbox aquarium one because I wanted a fleece roller system instead of the sock system, and I didn't do enough research to realize that you can just cut the socks part out and put a roller section in there. So let's not talk about that. I bought a trigger sump even though I didn't need to, and I have it. I like it. It works great. So let's just go with that. I have the fleece rollers in here. The water comes down. There's two sensors here. There's one, if the pump's off and the water goes that high, then it's not going to roll and waste all of your fleece. The other one's in here just barely in the water. So if the water rises a little bit from stuff clogging the filter there, it will roll it and roll the dirty stuff out here, as you can see. And then in the next section, I have a protein skimmer. It's the Quantum 160. Normally people run the 120 with this, but it was out of stock and I'm impatient, so I ordered the 160. A little bigger than I need, which might be an issue actually while I'm running the packs, but maybe I'll just turn it down, get another skimmer. I don't know. It's gonna be content, so I'll share it with you guys. We'll figure out what we're gonna do. Um, so yeah, we got that skimmer. It's working good. I clean it every morning because I'm weirdo like that. So it's nice and clean, but you can see the action on it. And then I have my Life Rock section here. When I first started, I wasn't planning on the packs. I didn't even know what it was. But then during my cycle, I found out what it was. So I was using this AI Fugelite with some macro in there, but I don't need the Fugelite anymore because this area is just dark. Because I've got the packs running now, which I'll show you when I get into my fish room. And when I tried to take the AI light out, and that's one thing when cords get stuck behind your tank and you don't want to like rip them out. Yeah, I got to figure out how to get this light out. That's kind of the drama I'm facing this morning, but it's compared to fish drama, it's not that bad. My tank's not crashing, so that's good. Um, so let's move on. I have my flow meter from Neptune here. I plumbed it over the tank because, all right, yeah, I'll admit it. I plumbed it in the fish room the first time and it was leaking. And so I freaked out. I had to get new unions and all that. And I tried again. This time I plumbed it over my sump. So if it leaks in my sump. It doesn't change my salinity. But of course it didn't even leak. So, go figure. Anyway, next thing you see in there, maybe, yeah, you can see it. There's the orange line, and then another line. One is for a water change. The other one is my Kalkwasser line, which I'll show you in my fish room. Right now, this tank is just running off a calcium reactor and a Kalkwasser. And I'll explain all that in another video. But I'm trying to keep this equipment base. Stay focused. Um, so moving on down the sump, I have the auto top off kit from Neptune. It's got two sensors plus the float sensor, so it's got a fail for the fail. That's cool. And then I have the Core 15 pump, which is working pretty good, considering upgrading to the 20. But this one's working just fine, so I don't know why I would. And then I have the scrubber here for the carbon to help raise the pH. I don't think I missed anything down here. So everything is, comes into the sump, and then everything is plumbed into my fish room, which where we're going next. So yeah, it comes from the return pump, goes there through my flow meter, and it goes into my fish room. So that's where I'm taking you next. Hello guys, welcome to my fish room. But it's actually technically, the coat closet, because that's yeah, that's why it's kind of cramped in here, because I'm inside the closet. Wait, that's we're in the fish room. We're calling it a fish room. It's just cramped in here. So I want to take you through all the equipment in here without rambling too much. Well, I realized that this fancy video camera, I need to get a wide angle lens, because when I try to show you my control board and everything, it's just hard to do it. So I'm gonna have to do it on my phone. At least I have a nice phone, and do it POV style. But before I do that, basically everything that's plugged into an electrical outlet is plugged into this cabinet. I'm not a carpenter, so it's a pretty rough cabinet build, but it swings open on some heavy duty hinges, and that's where it's plugged in, and then I have the Apex power bars. So before I ramble on too much, I'm going to take you through the POV of all my equipment here in my fish room slash closet slash whatever the heck you want to call it. Hey guys, here's my Apex control center where I have all my electronics plugged in. I have my Apex brain. This is the Apex Wi-Fi brain that comes with the 4 probes, the ORP, the pH, the temperature probe, and the salinity probe. I then have a fluid monitoring module. This one is for the ATO kit. Lemon, get out of here. Bad dog. Get. And then I have another fluid monitoring module. This one is set up for the flow sensor. I'm probably going to hook up another flow sensor and probably 2 leak detector sensors. So if there's water, say on that white surface there underneath any of this plumbing, I will know that there's a leak and I'll be alerted on my phone. So here's the Apex energy bars. Those are pretty self-explanatory, just energy bars. Then I have these 2 meters. This one is for the flow inside of my calc reactor. This one is for the pH inside of my calc reactor. So in order for that media that's inside of the calc reactor there, in order for that to dissolve, the pH in that needs to be 6.3. So basically that controls the CO2 solenoid on the regulator. Yeah, that's how that works. And then there's the return pump controller, but it's all controlled on the Apex app, like I will show you in a little bit here. Moving along, I have my, I store extra seawater, I store kalkwasser. This is where I go fetch RODI water with. I have my wastewater here. I have my new water here for my water changes. This is my ATO reservoir, which is nicely colored like all the Apex stuff. I have both of my dose machines. One is for a water change, as you can see there. One is dosing kalkwasser over a 24-hour period. And then moving down, I also have one dose that I am not using at the moment. And then over here I have my Pentair UV 25 watt UV sterilizer. There's a big huge rod that goes in here. You unscrew this, pull the rod out if you need to change the bulb or anything like that. But yeah, that is my Pentair UV. I've tested it, it works. So I just have not flipped it on because again, I'm on the end of my cycle now. So I'm just waiting to have 0 nitrites and all for the bacteria to all settle. And then I will flip the UV on. Moving along that, I have my manifold here, which was built by a guy on Instagram. His name is Reef Mania LLC. I'm gonna take a quick moment to shout out to this guy. He's been pretty much my my mentor on this process after I was traumatized from my first experience. So I just said, hey dude, what do I do? How do I build the dopest system? And this is kind of where he led me. And when I got to wanting to put the packs on there, I told him I needed a manifold. How do I do it? He started making me a list of parts and then ended up just saying, hey bro, let me just build you one. And he ended up building this and I said, yeah, I'll take it. So yeah, pretty awesome. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate you. This has been awesome. So thanks, man. So there's that. There's my manifold. Moving along here. So I have my reservoirs for this dose machine. It's from Neptune. They have sensors, and also it tells me on the app exactly how much is left inside of those reservoirs. This one's filled with kalkwasser. That one's filled with nothing. Until I figure out what I also want to dose. Maybe trace elements. I don't know. Maybe you guys have a good idea. I don't know. I don't need anything right now. So moving along here, this is a Cremor Wi-Fi pump. I forget the model number. It's like FX something blah blah blah. Oh look, the kalkwasser is dosing by itself. So yeah, this is my Cremor pump. I would not run a calc reactor after watching videos people trying to run them without Cremor pumps. They seem very hard to dial in and get exactly like how much you want dripping in the aquarium, all that flow rate, blah blah blah, and working with a another pump. So this thing makes a calcium reactor just a pleasure to use. yeah, I'll get into it more on a later video, but yeah, that's the Cremor Wi-Fi pump. So this is my SR Aquaristic Pro Cal 80. I thought, you know, the price was really good on it, and it just, I had a lot of good reviews, and I really like that company. So I bought this calc reactor, the Aquaristic Pro Cal 80. I also bought their CO2 regulator. They're very big in the planted game, but he's also known for his Chicago Sunfire or Sunburst anemones. I believe he's the guy that did that, coined those guys, found those guys, or whatever. I'm new to the hobby. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, that's my calc reactor. And then I have the Trident down here. The Trident basically just tells me alkalinity, magnesium, and calcium levels. I have it set to do 12 tests a day. I'm doing a lot of tests right now just because I'm playing around with a lot of equipment, and I just want to, you know, make sure my levels are good, which they are right now, which I'll explain in a tank update video. We're just going to try to stick to the equipment here and not go on a tangent. Pax Bellum. I have the Pax Bellum N18 arid macro algae reactor. I have 2 like golf ball size pieces of Chaeto in there right now. It's not turned on because it as far as the light, it runs on a reverse cycle. So when my of my other lights in my aquarium, so when those lights go off, the Pax Bellum runs all night. Kind of helps balance the pH swings. And again, I will get more into how awesome this system is, especially with the marriage of the calc reactor with that piece there. I'll get into it more in another video, but I'm just trying to go over the equipment without going on tangents. So I think I did a pretty decent job. Sorry if that took a really long time to explain everything in here, but there's a lot of equipment. So yep, that's it. I guess this might be worth the tour. I have a whole closet dedicated to all my like testing supplies and media and stuff like that. So it's where I'm at in the morning doing my morning routines. Mainly testing those 3 right now, and yeah, so that's all the space in the house that I somehow negotiated my wife to obtain. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. If you find me on Instagram, my name is that. Can you read it? Okay. If you find me on Instagram and you message me, I will send you one of these beautiful stickers. You can slap it on your sump. You can slap it, you know, on the fridge. You can slap it on your neighbor's house or something. I don't know. I don't care. But if you want one, they're here. I know fish people love stickers. So, you know, get your stickers. Shoot me a message. Yeah, dabbing reef turtle, and I'm out. Sheesh.